Tired of the MSFS 2024 career mode? Whether it's because of bugs or you're just looking for more, OnAir Airline Manager is a viable option. Yes, it is subscription based. However, it offers much more than the base sim could ever offer because it's got a small dedicated team specifically working on this project rather than a multinational company trying to please everyone but not completely satisfying anyone. You can start a free trial just by going to onair.company, and right here, just above the video, there is a free trial. It's a 7-day free trial. You might as well click on the download the clients and start now. You can also take a look at their plans, but you might as well take advantage of the 7-day free trial. And then if you like it, then go into a plan from there. What is OnAir Airline Manager? Well, it's building your own airline, whether it's big or small. You could be renting 172s, Cessna 172s, and doing little short hops, local stuff, or you could be like doing shipping cargo around the world in 747s. Everything is possible. And the thing is, you can fly to missions, or you can have the AI to fly to missions, or you can even have other players fly to missions. And that's something that the current MSFS 2024 career mode, you can't do. It's a single player only. They're not really going to be going into multiplayer anytime soon. So this is where you can start your own little airline and have humans being hired to do your work. And there's a lot more to it, but let's dive into the 3 worlds that you can choose from. And you can have one company in each of these servers. So the first server is the Cumulus, which is a really relaxed, casual. AI pilots are available. Casual virtual airlines. You can have a maximum of 10 members. There's no leaderboards, so it's quite chill. But if you want a challenge, you want to go up to the Stratus. And this is where it becomes more challenging with AI. You've got AI pilots available. You can still have a casual virtual airline with 10 human members. And there's also a leaderboard available so you can see where you are in the grand scheme of things. And if you really want a challenge, you're going to want to go up to Thunder, where there is no AI pilots. And the virtual airlines, they're unlimited. So you can have 10 people working for you. You can have nobody working for you if you really want. Or you can have 1,000 people. You just got to recruit those people because they're going to be humans. So they're going to be like, what's in it for me? And there is a leaderboard. Everything in that one has to be flown by humans. And in this case, there is no aids, no payouts multiplier. AI pilots may not fly without you at the controls. While the Stratus, you do have some multipliers. And the thing with OnAir is that it's a persistent real world. So it never stops. Things continue on. So I've played this in the past couple of years. I've played it for a couple of months. And what happens is when you're building out your airline, you've got to watch a lot of things. Well, you can have your AI doing stuff for you. So I would set like a schedule for maybe 3-4 days. And the good thing about it is you don't have to be on your PC at the time, like to take a look at how your company is. There is a web app that you can actually use. So you can be on a phone or a tablet and still check in on your company, manage your AI from there, everything. There's also a logistics center. And since I played this last year, a lot has changed. There is like an integration with SayIntentions. So if you are using SayIntentions, you can incorporate it with this. And you can actually create a dispatch with SayIntentions, and it'll pick up the information from your company, which I'll show you later in the video how to set that up. Now with job types, you can transport goods, passengers, fragile items, dangerous materials, medical, executives, perishable goods, event logistics, sightseeing, fighter tour. So even military jets you can use in this, rescue missions, undercover, glider, offshore, firefighting coming soon, FBO queries. So you could actually own a FBO at the airport. So then you're now making money off of the fuel that's purchased at that airport. Lots of potential here. And the thing is your pay is going to differentiate. And sometimes, like for fragile, you might need a certain skill in order to do fragile missions. So it's to me, it makes it quite interesting. Now that they have even rescue missions, undercover, glider stuff, and firefighting coming soon, it just makes things even more exciting. And like I said, with the web companion, it makes everything a breeze that you can manage things on the road. You don't have to be locked down to your PC. Because the thing is in MSFS 2024 career mode, if you want your AI to work, well, they will only work for passive income when you're flying yourself. So if you want 3 hours of passive income, you need to work 3 hours yourself. You have to fly for 3 hours, then AI will fly for 3 hours. This technically, if you've got the money, you can not even fly and just have the AI flying for you. But you do have to watch out, because that's where I face issues, is that if you don't manage things right, you've got to watch the weather. Because if you say, all right, you're going to go from Halifax to Moncton, but then the weather is bad, they decide, well, we can't fly into Moncton today, so I'm staying put in Halifax. Well, now they're stuck there until the weather gets better. So that might jam up the whole logistics system. So you do have to plan out. You can't just say, "Hey, AI, I'm going to plan you out for a whole month, and I'll just let it be." No, you got to check in, because the weather can completely be different, especially up here in Canada in the wintertime. There could be ice, there could be snow, anything. And if you're in St. John's, Newfoundland, well, it's like foggy about 90% of the time. So now let's go into the app and see how to set this up. So you've just installed the OnAir Airline Manager, the app itself, on your PC. Now you've got your three choices: the Cumulus, the Stratus, and the Thunder. I already have a company here, Sizzling Popcorn Airlines, and look at that. Company value is in the red. But I think, yeah, this is paused from last year, actually from 2023, but really it's just over a year ago. What we're going to do is we're going to start a brand new company in Stratus, because to show you in Thunder, thing with that is your AI cannot fly. So we're going to start a Stratus company and then build it out from there. So we're going to click on Start Company. Here you can put in your company name. Let's just call it Halifax Transport. And the airline code, we're going to call this HFXT. So it has to be a 4 characters. And then you'll see if it's used or not. And it can be letters and numbers, but nothing else. Pilot pseudo, let's put in Sizzling Popcorn. And then date of birth, you can pick whatever you want. I normally just go the first of the year, whichever year you want. You can go back to, I don't know, is there an age limit here? Oh yeah, I like that. If you're like into like historical play, you could be like, I was born January 1st, 1870. Put the airport code. We're going to start from the Halifax, which is a size 5, which is the biggest of the airport sizes. And you'll see that very shortly. You've got the 1 to 5. 1 is the like tiny airports. That's like more so like airstrips, obscure places. Like, doesn't have to be obscure, but they are tiny airports. And you can have a setting that it has to be jobs at that have at least a size of 3 or more. 3 is like even small regional airports, like really, really small, are 3. And Halifax, although it is an international airport, this is not like this is not Tokyo or JFK, LAX. Compared to them, we'd probably be like a 1. But in this case, we're 5, LA, New York, that's a 5 also. You're going to choose your simulator, and you can change it at any time in the options in the global settings. And MSFS, that's either 2020 or 2024. Tycoon mode, that is if you want to play without a simulator. So you're pretty much doing Tycoon mode. And then you can choose your avatar. There's plenty of avatars here. Just pick one and create. So brand new this year is that you now have this freelance dashboard to onboard you into the system. And then you've got the advanced mode, which is like the old style building up your company. So you'll start off doing freelance work, and then you can move over. You can change your mode here. This is freelance only. You press here to unlock the advanced career. Once you do that, then you're starting your own company. What they'll do is they'll give you double the amount of money that you have in freelance. They'll double that for when you go into advanced career. Here in the freelance is just like in MSFS 2024 career mode, where you start off and you're an employee. So all of the gas, like the fuel, the aircraft maintenance, all that is taken care of. All you have to do is fly. And you can go take a look at charter flights. So let's take a look at the charters in the logistics center. Here you can see your world map. Right now, the simulator is detected. I don't have an aircraft right now, but it's detecting from my last flight, which was in a C-17. So it's going to give me missions based off of that. I can change the minimum airport size. I think it's going to be a 4 is the minimum just because of the aircraft. And then you can choose what's available. So cargo and passenger charter. And then these are all the different jobs. You don't need any special skills or ratings or anything like that in order to do it, because we're on the freelance side. You'll have to worry about that once you're actually building out the company. And here you can see how much is your pay, and you can see more details, the cargo, passengers, all that kind of details. On a C-17, that many passengers, I don't really think so. But you'll also see like freelance boost level 3. So sometimes there's going to be boosts at different airports. You can click on free flights. This is more so to start a free flights, ideal to track MSFS missions. So you can set that up there, and from which airport. You can do a return to base, although I'm guessing supposedly over here. Doesn't make any sense because I didn't start there. You get the gist of it. You can find out here all these missions that you can do as a freelancer. Now let's go back. Let's take a look at regular routes. You can apply for a regular routes. This is more so like you're applying for an airline. It could be a small airline or big airline. The more jobs you do for an airline, you'll then gain some experience points with that airline and rank up. And I think your pay ends up going up. But if we go, let's say using airports, Halifax, fleet size, you can do however you want. But we're going to click on search airlines. There's a lot of stuff. We're going to trim it down to Canada. And these are routes, real world routes from real world airlines. But the thing with this is you actually don't have to fly like Jazz Aviation. You can ask for a flight, but then instead of using like a Q400, like we don't have a Q400 in MSFS, you could technically use a Cessna, but you're probably not gonna be able to hold the passengers or the cargo, and you're not gonna have enough fuel. But you can get something more realistic. But even here, you can generate a schedule for Airbus A330, or you can generate a schedule for the aircraft that you have in sim. So what I would do in this case is I would load up in free flight mode at a specific airport with the plane that you want to get or want to use, and then click on that, and then it's going to generate. But we'll generate a flight here, 5 flights with the A330, and you're now expected, and once you accept that, you're now expected to do these flights within a week. So you do have to watch out what your time constraints are versus what they're giving. So if you don't have the time to do all this, then you bring it down to like 2 or even 1. You can change the distance, shrink that down. And yeah, the more you do for one specific airline, you'll then rank up. You can also apply for a virtual airline. So there's plenty of airlines. So this is with humans, and you got like most used airports, how many members, how many aircraft, flights in the last 30 days. And then you can click on apply. Tours are coming to freelance mode at some point, but not right now. And then at the top, you're going to have your cash flow. This you don't have to worry about until you get into the advanced mode. You can see your live map, and then emails. So you can actually mail your friends on here, like between each other. You'll see all your flight logs here. But the big thing is your settings. So here, you're going to select your simulator. If you do change to like X-Plane or P3D, you can always go back here. Then you're also going to want to download and install community packages. You can check mark it so that it automatically updates every time you start it up. And a big feature that's available here is that you can change your UTC by creating an offset. So let's say you're only available at 8 o'clock at night and you hate flying in the dark. Well, you can change that. So like right now, my local time is 11 a.m. UTC, it's 1500. And then you're going to see in the sim, it's 11 a.m., 1500. Well, we can push that back by 4 hours. It now becomes 7 a.m. If I'm always available at 8 o'clock to fly, well, now I can fly at 4 o'clock. And that way, in the wintertime, the sun is starting to set. But in the summertime, like it's still light out. Don't have to fly in the dark. I can still run with live weather, but this you can offset it, and you can go the other way too. If you're only available at 4 a.m. local time, you can put it to 8 a.m. that you're flying. Or if you like flying in the dark, you can play around with this. So I'm going to put that to -4. Because even if I'm flying at 11 in the morning, 4 hours back, well, it's pretty much like dawn in the wintertime. So that's nice. And right beside that, you've got your company name and your call sign. So that you can change. And then here, you can use small airports. If you click on this, it's going to use all airports from 1 to 5 in size. If you have this unticked, it's going to go from 3 to 5. And where you want to watch out, like why you wouldn't want a size 1 or 2 is because they might not have a FBO. They won't have any fuel. So if you're in need of fuel, you have to make sure that there's a FBO at that other airport, or you're going to be shit out of luck. You're going to be stuck there. You're going to have to get AI or like somebody else to fly from somewhere else, bring in fuel tanks, like jerry cans to fill you up. So yeah, I would say untick that. There's another setting here, only use simulator vanilla airports. I'm actually going to untick this because I have lots of airports that are not vanilla and I like to use them, especially if the vanilla airport doesn't exist. So we'll uncheck that. The next setting is exclude airports non-SimBrief We're going to leave that checked because you don't want to spend time trying to get a sim brief plan, especially if you're doing IFR flying. Keep that on. Failures during simulator flight, well, that's up to you. You're not going to get a bonus if you put that on, but if you do put it on, you can have some damage, especially when you're the owner of the company. Register flight on engines shutdown. Yes, keep that checked. That way you don't have to manually stop the recording. It'll stop it automatically once the engines are shut down. In-flight SIM Connect autosave. You can do this just in case something happens and your sim crashes. Well, you can always go back to it. But this setting may cause stuttering with certain complex aircraft. I'm just not even going to do it. Uncheck that. Your weight, you can put in pounds or kilograms. Display notifications, I would keep that on. Flight tracking sounds, the same thing. That way you know if it's started to record you. Because if it hasn't, you don't want to be up in the air or the engine's already started and then you get docked because you already had your beacon lights on or, something out of order. Announce when on final approach. You can have that checked, but if you're using ATC or like something like SayIntentions, you're going to get your win stuff from ATC. So uncheck that. Write ATC informations in simulator. No, I would leave that unchecked. Pre-fill destination when loading payload. Yes. Just makes things a little simpler. If you do have to change the destination, then you can do that. The only time you're going to be doing that is if it's like a 2-hop mission. So if let's say I'm going from Halifax to Moncton with stuff, but I have to stop in Digby. So the cargo is going to go to Moncton, but I might have other cargo that's going to Digby. So if you have this pre-selected, this will put it to your next stop, but then you just adjust it so that the correct cargo goes to the other airport. Realistic procedures in simulator. You can check out the rules, but I would say yes, because it's going to give you a bonus for your reputation, your experience points, and they have the full list of things on the website. What bonuses you get. Enable flight scoring, taxi and landing lights. I would, if you want to be realistic, I would put it, because also you're going to get a 5% XP bonus applied at the end of the flight when this option is enabled. So might as well get the extra experience points. Now you've got choices for 3D objects display in MSFS. You can take these off if you don't want any 3D objects. But when it comes to like rescue missions and sightseeing missions, you might as well put these in, or else you're not going to have the full experience, especially in races. I think races, they're going to be putting in your track that you would be doing a race on. And if you don't have that, well, how are you going to know? And base camps and factories, you definitely want that, so you can see where they are on the map and also in the sim. Now, if you want to go on vacation or you just want to have a break from OnAir, you can always click on pause my company and it will freeze it in time. And if you just don't like your company, you want to restart, especially if you ended up getting caught where you had a whole bunch of AI working for you and then logistically you screwed up and now you're so much in the red, you can't get any loans and you just can't get out. Well, you can always delete the company and start a new one. Now down here at the bottom, you've got your user unique ID, company unique ID, company API key, and then SayIntentions pilot key. So the first two, the user unique ID, you don't really need that. Company unique ID, that's more so if you needed some support, they can then go in with that unique ID especially if it got deleted by accident. They might be able to retrieve it. So these last two, the company API key and SayIntentions pilot key, those are used for the SayIntentions integration that allows you to use a dispatch on SayIntentions with one of 4 frequencies, and you can use that on COM1 or COM2. You can ask like which aircraft you're in, what's the payload, where you're going, what's the name of the airport or the airport code, what's the fuel on board, what's your company value, a whole bunch of questions. And it's going to get that information from this company API key. So you're going to copy that, and then you're going to go over to the SayIntentions pilot portal. And this is found on their website. Go into your settings, and down close to the bottom, you'll see OnAir. Here you can choose one of 4 frequencies, and you can have up to 4. So if you had a company in all 3 servers, you can use 3 different. Or this could also be where you've got your own company, which is small, but you're also doing jobs for another company. So that's why there's 4 of them here. You're going to choose the frequency you want. Then you're going to put in your API key. And you're also going to put the company code here. And if you've got more, you can add in more. But then you're going to want to go to the bottom, click on submit. And then that's going to submit the change. Now, if you go back to your pilot portal, in your account information, you're going to see in the account details your API key. This is also your ACAR sign-in ID. You're going to take that one and bring that API key over into OnAir. So then that way it's going to integrate the two. They're going to be able to talk to each other. So let's go back into OnAir. And don't forget, these API keys are specific to you, so you don't want to share them with anybody. And if you ever make a video, don't share them either. Now that's back into OnAir. You just paste that in there, and then you're going to want to click the save button to save all your settings. Now that we have everything set up, let's go back to the jobs, and then I'm going to show you how to get into the advanced mode. Now we're back to the Freelance dashboard. Come over here, click on change mode, and then we're going to unlock the advanced career. Once we do that, we can't come back to Freelance only. We can, but when we make the switch, we're going to be locked into Freelance only for a whole week. Now we're going to click to change. You've earned 0 credits as a freelancer. Transitioning to advanced career mode will grant you additional 0 and 10,000 credit owner's equity for a total of 10,000 credits. You'll also have the option to start directly in airliner mode, which provides the cash needed immediately to lease an aircraft like a Boeing 737 or an A320. Choosing this option will place you on a separate leaderboard. So you can do that. That's going to give you 1.5 million credits, loan repaid via weekly installments, enough capital to rent or lease a basic airliner, 1 FBO at your home airport, 1 co-pilot and 2 attendants, pre-hired, a jet certification, and place your company in a separate leaderboard. I don't want that. I want to start small and then grow over time. So accept. And now this is the classic look that I'm used to from about a year ago. You've got your current cash, company value. You've got your income. So let's just quickly go over this. Here in your current balance, it'll be pretty much all the transactions that happen in the account. You can actually export this to Excel if you want, or you can even export it to QuickBooks and send it to your account. We've got the balance sheet talking about accounting. Then you'll see you've got your cash over here, and then your owner's equity of 10,000. So it's a basic accounting here. Then you're going to see your income statement, and it's going to break it down based off of exactly what the revenue and expenses were. And you can change the date range up here. And then here you've got your company ratios. So your debt ratio, which is your loans divided by your assets, and then also your return on assets. So that's your incomes divided by your assets. This is going to help you out with getting a loan from the bank and other things. Now you've got your chartered jobs. First flight, it's showing up here as Moncton. And I think this is it's a level 1 mission. So you will unlock these missions that give you a bunch of experience points. It's pretty much a progression, but you don't have to do these flights. Like this first one, you definitely do, because you're just going to get like these bonus experience points. It's just to get you started. It will eventually unlock other levels for you. And up here, you can see Logistics Center, FBO queries, so favorited jobs, outsourcing. So you can actually outsource your job. If you got a job, let's say I'm in Halifax, but I got a job that goes from like Toronto to Detroit. Well, I can outsource that job to another human. I don't have to get an AI to fly it. So that's where you would see outsourced jobs. Aircraft, this is where you can buy or rent one from the aircraft market. Or to get more credits, you can also fly some jobs as a freelance pilot, freelance routes, and freelance charters. So this is pretty much exactly the same as the freelance board, but you've got access to it in the advanced mode. And then aircraft markets, let's click on that. This, you can search for the aircraft I have loaded in my simulator, or you can browse the aircraft market manually. So this is the manual version. And let's see here, Q400. So if we look up DHC, MSFS, there is none. But if we go explain 11, if we change that to Q400, oh yeah, and it's only showing affordable aircraft only. Uncheck that. Now you've got a DHC Q400. MSFS, you still have one. I think probably because there's a mod for it, but it hasn't changed here. So you can click on compatible add-ons and it's going to tell you what is compatible. So there is a Dash 8 Q400 and then a DHC 8 Q402. You can click on a source and then it shows you here all flight mods, working cockpit. You can then navigate to that. So I think this is the mod that comes with a King Air. I'm pretty sure it comes with a King Air engine. Actually, it's a cockpit add-on of the CJ4. So you could use this in the with OnAir in MSFS 2024 or 2020. I don't know if this will work in 2024, but at least in 2020, you could use this and it would meet the criteria for the Q400. But going back, you can look at it based off of the aircraft that you have loaded. And that seems to be different than what I was thinking. So you'll want to do it manually. And then like you saw, you can change the simulator and then what's affordable and not. But if you press the green one, this is based off of the actual aircraft that you have loaded in the sim. So I have a C-17 loaded, and that's what it's giving me here. But yeah, I don't have enough money for that, even to lease it. Then you got FBO. You can search for your airport. And so that's showing you a map of the airport. And you can see services. This is great because you can see in advance whether the airport has the right type of fuel for you. Because there's like jet fuel. And then there's the 100 LL. So depending on your aircraft, and you can buy containers. There's also maintenance. And the maintenance, it's based off of, they're not going to have this. Like this one, Halifax International FBO has Hilo, but Par Avion doesn't. So you can do maintenance only at the one FBO, not the other. And then the third one doesn't have any maintenance. So that's good to know. Assets. So there's some cargo and passengers here waiting to go to Moncton. And then here you can see what activity is happening at the airport. So whether it's AI or a human. There is a factory here, Halifax Electronics, owned by QBX1, and you can actually contact them if you wanted to work with them. But you can open that up, display detail, and this, we will go into this in a separate video, but this is all about factories. I remember this from last year, but I never got too much into it. But we'll look at this later on, how to do factories. Now, the next thing is your experience points. Here's your counter, but to get to level 1, you need 1,000 points. And that's why that first mission is 1,000 experience points to go to Moncton. And it's a mission rather than a job. So I would get paid, but I'd get pretty much 1,000 in order to get me to the next level right away. Employees, just 1, that's me. But eventually you can hire employees in here. And with your leveling, this is what happens. You can get skill points to distribute, and then you build upon this. And these different skills will take you into different areas of your business, and you're going to need some of this. So like getting better interest rates on any kind of loans you have, or if you want to do last minute jobs and get paid more, or medical jobs, dangerous jobs, you need the training in order to do those jobs. And then over here on the left side, you've got your charter jobs, your route jobs. You've also got the freelance jobs dashboard. You got your industries, work orders, aircraft market, operations map, flight logs, and activities. So there's a whole bunch of stuff here. And at the bottom, you've got some tips. So it's pretty much to help you to get started. Your first aircraft, first job, and others down the road. But if you have any questions, let me know in the comment section below. I'll be doing some live streams and some videos on this, and you'll want to check out this playlist to see what's next.